But I'd kind of gone through a crazy night of hallucinations. I was on my own through like these forests, and yeah, I mean, I was starting
Just
to
seeing
seeing
weird
things, and I mean, you know that you're hallucinating because like I was seeing like people hanging from trees, and it was like, and then like as soon
And
as
you
you,
knew immediately, like,
yeah,
you sort of knew
yeah, you
that
tell
you were
yourself, yeah,
hallucinating.
you tell yourself like snap out of it, like, but and then when you get close enough, kind of it disappears. So you know you like starting to hallucinate, but then you like start to like freak out, like, am I
Losing my mind.
losing my mind? Like, kind of, am I going to get through this? And you're already kind of 40 odd hours into a race. You're so tired.
Hello and welcome to the It's All Good show. I'm your host, Holly, and I'm so excited for today's conversation. We are chatting to Ryan Sands. If you're not familiar with him, Ryan has become one of the most respected endurance athletes and adventure runners globally. Over an 18-year career and counting, he has competed in and won some of the toughest ultra endurance trail events in the world. But what really sets him apart is that his career doesn't stop just at racing. Alongside competing at the highest level, Ryan has designed and undertaken some incredibly ambitious projects. Long, demanding journeys centered around trail running, mountains, and exploration. Projects like setting the fastest known time for the Drakensberg Grand Traverse and the Great Himalaya Trail, to creating entirely new challenges like navigating Lesotho and more locally 13 Peaks and the Cape Town Trail Marathon. Those all reflect a deep love for the outdoors and a curiosity for what's possible when you fully commit to a challenge. Ryan's career began in a way that almost seems fictional, winning his first ever trail race, which also happened to be one of the most grueling ones in the world, the Gobi Desert Race, which is a 250-kilometer multi-stage race. And then he went on to make history, being the first person to ever win all 4 races in the 4 Desert Series. Since then, his journey has included countless race victories, global recognition, and an evolution from a purely competitive athlete to an all-round adventurer. He is also the author of 2 books, which I highly recommend reading both of them. The first one, Trailblazer, is an account of his early racing career and gives a nice little backstory. And then his most recent book, Run, Risk, Reward, is a behind the scenes of these epic trail racing adventures and the incredible projects that he designs. And it goes through, it just gives you a nice look into all the doubts, fear, and problem solving that goes with all of those. But even more impressive than any single event win or project is Ryan's mindset. His ability to do incredibly hard things repeatedly, which involves problem solving under pressure, managing both fear and responsibility, and keeping on moving forward, especially when there's no easy way out. And that is what today's conversation is really about. And no, this episode is not just for runners or endurance athletes. It is for anyone who's going through a particularly challenging time, whether that is a physical challenge or maybe a business or personal goal, or you're just moving through a season of uncertainty. Our hope is that through this conversation, you'll find something that you'll be able to take into your own life, a way of thinking or a perspective shift, or simply a reminder that progress happens one step at a time. Let's get into the episode with Ryan. Hey Ryan, welcome.
Hey.
Thank you so much for coming here.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, I
Really
really
cool to
appreciate
chat.
you taking the time out. I'm surprised you didn't run here actually.
Christmas time been lazy.
And you had an injury not
Yes,
so
I
long
had
ago.
some bone bruising in my ankle.
Mm.
So yeah, been taking it quite easy, but just getting into some training again now. So yeah, nice to get back out there. I guess it's
Yeah.
always like when you have something taken away that you love so much, you appreciate it that much more when you get
Yeah.
back into it.
Yeah, so you feel like you training at like normal sort of pace now?
Not quite, like still easing into it. Like I've had or I think this is my 5th week. I've got like 6 weeks of just like easing into it,
Okay.
and then hopefully I can start ramping things up. But
Mm.
yeah, nothing like what I was previously doing.
Mm.
But I think also I took like nearly 8 weeks completely off running. So
Okay.
when you start running again, it's almost like you pick it up quickly, but you start
Yeah, you're not
from
starting where
zero.
you were.
Yes, so yeah, an hour.
And I guess
hour
it's a
run
nice time to
feels
have like a
hard.
little bit of off time.
Exactly. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, and yeah, it sucks at the time getting injured, but I guess a bit of forced rest is never a bad thing for your body and mind.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, you've obviously had a very impressive career so far, from your early desert races that sort of put you on the map to winning Western States, as well as your other projects like the Drakensberg Grand Traverse, Great Himalaya Trail, navigating Lesotho, and most recently second place at Kedona 250. And that's literally just scratching the surface. But before we get into what Ryan has become as we know him today, I wanted to just rewind a little bit and sort of understand where that adventure seeking spirit started. Would you say you were quite adventurous as a child?
Yeah, I guess I've always been like an outdoor type of person, and I've always kind of wanted to get the best out of myself. I've been like, I'd say I've always been like very competitive, but I think more like competitive with myself, just wanting to do the best I can do. But I mean, going back to like adventure, I mean, growing up, I always spent a lot of time at the beach and the ocean. I mean, I never kind of dreamt of being a professional runner when I was at school. But I mean, yeah, I'd always spent a lot of time in the outdoors. Even I remember some of my earliest memories with my grandparents, like kind of taking the dogs for walks on the like Constantia green belts and kind of Newlands Forest. So I think yeah, I mean, from an early age, kind of outdoors is always yeah, really, yeah, just been a special place for me.
Yeah. And then just slowly pushed it further and further. When did you actually realize that you were drawn to pushing yourself physically?
Yeah, I guess, I mean, rewinding back to when I was at school, just playing first team rugby, and I think like as I mentioned, like I've always wanted to do the best I can do, or be like the best version of me, and yeah, I guess like I only discovered running really late in life, my final year at university, and I mean, like I ran the Neisner Marathon and did it on very minimal training, and like yeah, a lot of my friends didn't even think I was gonna finish, or neither did I really think I was gonna finish. But I mean, finishing that and just that sense of fulfillment and achievement definitely is kind of where I guess the running bug kind of started. And I mean, it was like within 2 or 3 years from there, I found myself lining up at the Gobi Desert Race. And to be honest, when I actually entered the Gobi Desert Race, I didn't even know where the Gobi Desert was. So I think that was like the adventurous spirit in me. I think
Yeah.
subconsciously.
Like, that's a nice name.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, it was. I googled extreme desert races one.
You're like, I love running. What's the most extreme running I can
Yeah,
do?
yeah. Sorry, yeah. I googled extreme trail races one Sunday. I popped the Four
Sure.
Deserts website. I saw Dean Conaz's was running, an American ultra runner. I was reading his book at the time, so I thought, cool. Let me
Yeah. Give him a run for his money.
yeah. So I entered that. So I mean, I think for me, like subconsciously, like the thing that really intrigued me was the adventure, like not actually knowing where the Gobi Desert was, not knowing what the race was about. It looked
Yeah.
like a crazy challenge, and just yeah, kind of putting those puzzle pieces together to get there, I think was what really intrigues me. And even kind of jumping around all over the place now, but looking at my career, I've done like a lot of like projects, not just racing, and I think that's what's kept me in the sport for so long, is that I really enjoy these projects where you kind of forces you to think outside the box. You have to plan everything, and I think that's most of the fun. Like kind of once you get there, yeah. I mean, I really just enjoy that whole build up, and kind of almost seeing kind of the sport of trail running as an art, and just kind of
Yeah, and
getting
like
to
problem solving.
exactly, and it's like a blank canvas, and you get to choose what to craft.
Yeah, so I guess it's nice sort of mixing the more structured events where you can prep for it, you know what the route's going to look like, and then your other projects where you like kind of throw yourself in the deep end. Obviously,
Yeah,
you do a couple of recce's before, but
for sure. I mean, or sometimes no recce's.
oh,
I
really?
mean, to be honest, I think those are probably the projects that maybe haven't always gone according to plan,
Yeah.
or I guess no
Surprise,
project
surprise.
ever goes according to plan. But those are probably the kind of projects I look back with the fondest memories, and just the most epic experiences.
For
Just
sure.
when you kind of just yeah, really kind of super present in the moment, and just like putting one foot in front of the next and kind of having to problem solve as you go along.
Yeah. And would you say there was a definite moment when you sort of realized, like, shit, this could be more than just a passion? I could actually turn this into a career?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I mentioned Dean Karnazes a few minutes ago. I mean, I got a lot of inspiration from him when I first started ultra running or trail running. I read his book, Ultra Marathon Man, and I mean, yeah, he was kind of one of the reasons I guess I entered the Gobi Desert Race, and just spending time with him there. Yeah, he just super knowledgeable, kind of one of the first guys to actually make it as a professional ultra runner. So yeah, it was after the Gobi Desert Race, and after that I did the Sahara Desert Race, and it was kind of, I think, out running in the Sahara that kind of my brain started, or the cogs of my brain started to turn to say, like, geez, I'd way rather be doing this than working a 9 to 5. I studied quantity surveying I was going to say at school, at university. So I was working for a big property development company, and I mean, it was going like well, like I was doing well and enjoying it.
Bit less
But
exciting than running in the desert.
exactly. I mean, it was just a completely new experience for me, and just something so different. And I mean, also my philosophy has always been like, I'd rather try something and fail hopelessly than look back on one day and think like, what if I tried that? So I think it was after the kind of Sahara Desert race that yeah, I just decided to kind of take the plunge and like fully commit to being a professional trail runner. And yeah, I mean, I guess it was pretty risky in terms of I had enough to get by for like 6 months, but like when I first started, I didn't have like enough sponsorships to like fully get by. I was kind of living off savings. But yeah, I guess looking back now, I'm very glad I took that chance.
Yeah. So you'd quit your job without having like actual sponsors and...
Yeah, I started working part-time, but like working for a big property development company, it just wasn't
There is
working.
no part-time.
No, exactly. That's the thing. So yeah, I just decided like go all in or nothing. So I went all in, and yeah, luckily I made it
Yeah.
work.
Obviously it worked out. And then obviously as your career progressed, the challenges became bigger, and obviously there's a lot more risk with that. So first of all, how did your relationship with ambition change as those projects got bigger?
Yeah, I mean, like I think like some of like the projects I've done like have like say like when Rain and I ran across the Himalayas, the Great Himalaya Trail. I mean, it's a project I'm like super glad I've done. But if you said would you go back there, I'd say no ways. I think I like with a lot of stuff I've done, even some of the races, like one of the early races I did, the Jungle Marathon. Again, it's a race like, it was a crazy experience, and I'm very glad I've done it, but there's no ways I'd go back there. Often with these type of things, I find you commit, and then it's like only when you're there you realize kind of how extreme it is. So I guess in a way, I suppose I've been like quite naive even early on in my career. I mean, I guess if I wasn't young and naive, I wouldn't have entered the Gobi Desert Race, in terms of I'd only ever run a road marathon or a few 35-kilometer trail races. Like, it doesn't make any logical sense to then enter a 250-kilometer self-supported race across the desert. So, I mean, yeah, I guess you can say like at times I've been naive.
Which,
But
as you say, is actually a better thing, because if someone had given you a list of every single challenge you're going to face, you'd be like, nah.
exactly. So, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, even fast forwarding to Cocodona 250 mile I did this year. I mean, yeah, I think you, like on paper it looks like a cool idea, and then you actually kind of out there experiencing it, and it's like, flip, this is actually super hard and challenging. So yeah, I think it's just, yeah, I've often found like the first time you do something, kind of that's often the best experience. Like for me, potentially my best 100-mile experience was the Leadville 100 miler, the first time I ran 100 miles in 2011. 11.
Yeah, and you came second. Hey?
Yeah, I actually won that.
Oh, but the
win.
first time you ran.
Western States.
Oh, Western States, right,
Our
right, right,
second,
right,
yes.
right, yeah.
So I mean, even looking, it's quite interesting just talking about that, looking at the like
So
200
the
miles.
first time you ran the Leadville, you won.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
What
yeah,
do the
so
locals think?
yeah, it was quite interesting because I mean, I'd come more from like a multi-stage, like kind of adventure racing background, and it was kind of quite early on in the sport. And the Americans were quite like guarded over their territory. So yeah, they kind of said there's no way it's like I would be able to like pull through, or they thought I'd do well for like the first 100 kilometers and then kind of crash and burn. But luckily, I managed to kind of pull through.
Yeah,
But it was
nice.
quite an interesting time in the sport where the Salomon team had just started. It was kind of like the first proper trail running team or setup, and like our international team manager Greg Volley, he had this idea in order to try and, because like Salomon is a very or it's a French company, so it was very much like kind of seen as like a European brand, and they wanted to expand more into the American market. So the idea was that like Salomon athletes would win the three major American races, being like Western States. So Killian won, Julien Chaurier won Hard Rock, and then I won Leadville. That was like the goal, but it actually backfired in a way, because like the Americans are very like patriotic, or they like so they like almost like kind of saw like Salomon as this outside
really?
brand coming in to try and dominate. So it almost made things worse. But yeah.
And now, would you say it's a lot more integrated in the States?
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, yeah, I think like looking back, that was a really cool time in the sport. It was like quite free spirited, and yeah, I mean, as I was saying, it's like it's just everything was like fresh and new, just getting awesome opportunities to travel around the world and do some pretty cool things.
Yeah, very, very cool career. Did you ever start to realize that ego became a part of the picture when you were like designing either your project or entering certain trail races?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be lying, I think, if I said I didn't have an ego, and I mean, I think that's always been a big driving factor. I mean, I think you
For
need,
professional sportsmen.
yeah, you need a certain ego, and I mean, I think you need it in life in general. I think for me, like there's one thing to have like ego and competition, but I think like when you're doing a project or you're in big mountains, like I think having an ego, that can be like detrimental, like the death of you. And I mean, it's someone like Killian Jornet, I really look up to. I mean, just as an athlete, just like superhuman, so strong. But then as a human, it's just so like down to earth and grounded. But if you look at the projects, like I mean, he's been to Everest a number of times and wanted to set an FKT to summit Everest, and like I think, I mean, he's been up and he summited it twice in a week. But I mean, he's been there about 4 or 5 times, and like kind of turned back a number of times and just said conditions weren't right, or I wasn't feeling great. And I mean, I think that I've got so much respect for that, just being able to turn back. And I mean, even the projects I've done with Rainer, I think such a big part of it comes down to ego and just making the right decisions. And also, like, if you make a mistake out there, if you're like doing a project with someone out, just saying, cool, like I've stuffed up, let's move on, not try and like cover it up or deny it and patch it up, because I mean that's when things like really go pear-shaped. So yeah, I think it's been cool that the sport and the mountains have kind of you can't have an ego, or like too much of an ego out there. And also, I guess, like with trail running, and like everything is self-powered, you're on your own 2 feet, like you've only got yourself to blame. And I mean, there've been times where 1 minute I feel like I'm on top of the world and you win a massive race, and then the next minute you're running up Table Mountain and you completely bomb out, run out of water, or kind of the weather closes in and you're cold and you kind of kind of come off the mountain with your tail between your legs. So it's cool that like just how humbling and grounding the
Yeah, the
mountain
mountain
can be.
humbles you for
Yeah.
sure. Were there moments in either events, I guess maybe events, there's a little bit more ego behind it, like in
Yeah.
races, but would you say that there were ever times when you realized in yourself that you might be pushing for the wrong reasons?
For sure. I mean, I think like for me, like a big realization was running Cocodona this year. I mean, I felt like doing Cocodona was really because it was something that excited me and intrigued me. And I mean, maybe the last few years, definitely like last year after UTMB, like I just felt a bit like stagnant in the sport, definitely in like the competition side. And I always said the day I wake up and like I'm not excited about racing will be the day I stop. And I mean, obviously racing now for 18 years, I've done most of like the races I want to, but I mean there are still races that intrigue me. But I mean I just felt like things were a bit had stagnated, and I was like, cool, maybe this is the end of kind of the racing part of my career. Um, and I think like for a good 2 or 3 years, I was kind of kept entering UTMB, and I think it was like for the wrong reason. I mean, I was doing it because I felt like it was a thing I should do. I needed to get the monkey off my back. It had become like the biggest event, and like I think a lot of athletes feel like that. And for me, it was just like so liberating, and just like almost felt like entering the Gobi Desert race again when I entered Cocodona. It was just this whole new, fresh challenge, and it was like super exciting. So that was like a big take out for me, and even kind of going forward in my career, like it's made me realize that you got to do things for the right reasons. And I mean, generally, I think throughout my career, I've been quite lucky that I've never been like boxed in. I think like with the sport now and it becoming that much more professional, obviously, often athletes get kind of dictated to what they should be doing. And I just feel like you invest so much into a big race that like you need to be doing it for the right reasons. Like your why has got to be so strong when you kind of 8 hours into a race and things are falling apart and you don't know if you can take another step. Like if someone else has told you that you need to do that race, I don't think you can like
Exactly.
bring out the best in
You're not
yourself.
doing it just to make someone else happy.
Exactly. And even just having that strong why, because I mean, I think these days you probably find like on the elite side of things, like everyone's on the same level, and the person that ends up winning or doing well at the race is the person that kind of mentally is the strongest on the day. And generally that's having the right why and kind of the right drive and just wanting it more than anyone else.
For sure. And so you mentioned like this feeling that you had entering Cocodona, that you sort of realized this is the feeling that I want. So are there specific things that you look for when either designing a project that you want to do or entering a race? Are there like certain things that you look for to sort of bring out that passion?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just stuff that like intrigues me and excite me. I mean, I'd love the unknown, and as I said, like kind of putting the puzzle pieces together. But for me, I think I often just go with my gut feel and intuition. Like this just feels right. And I mean, I think the big thing with Cocodona is like it's probably like the biggest block of training I've ever done for an event, the most like condensed training, but it just all felt like super fun and like just stacking the puzzle pieces together. I mean, I did like back-to-back 10-hour runs, and for sure they were hard. Like I'd be lying if I said it was easy and all fun, but I was just like the whole process really excited me. And I mean, it's the same when Raina and I prepared for the Great Himalaya Trail or running around Lesotho. I think just like in Lesotho, like doing the different recce's and planning everything, it just felt fun and just
It felt fun until you got there.
exactly. No, but I mean, I think just like waking up in the mornings, I was like, cool, like kind of there's this like big challenge ahead, and it's just kind of motivates you. I think that's the big thing, that like you set yourself a goal that's like that scary in some ways, but like that it actually just like motivates you on a day-to-day basis to be the best version of yourself. But I mean, yeah, I think like, as I say, also, I mean, with projects, I guess, like looking back at school, I would have never said I was like a creative, but I think like trail running has allowed me to do that with like creating things like 13 peaks and designing routes. I mean, I love doing that, like plotting routes and just going out and running. And I mean, it doesn't need to be like plotting a route to the T, but it might be like, oh, let's see if it can run from Cape Point Lighthouse to town and tag these peaks along the way. Like, is it possible? I think for me that's just so cool, and also to do it like human powered. I mean, it's really cool. Like looking back and seeing, geez, like I've come from like all the way down there, and I've still got to go all the way.
And
all the
then
way there. It's
driving
really
the route,
cool.
you're like, man, it takes so long even just to drive.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
So,
cool that is obviously that creative aspect to it,
yeah.
which keeps it nice and fresh. And
Exactly. I mean, that's why I said like this has like been my 18th year in the sport, and I mean, yeah, there's still so many like different things that I still want to do, and I mean, I think that's the thing. Like, I mean, I don't think there are many sports that people can be in for 18 years and still be so
Love it.
excited, and yeah, just like there's still to be so much to do.
would you say there's a particular race or expedition, or maybe even like a personal moment that fundamentally changed the way that you see yourself, either as an athlete or personally?
Yeah, I mean, geez, I think there've been like a lot of experiences along the way, and I mean, this might be like slightly off topic. I'm trying to think. I think for me, like,
It doesn't
I
have to be trail racing
yes,
topic.
no, that's the thing. I think for me, like, almost like trail running has often just been the excuse to have those experiences. Like, I mean, Raina and I often say, like, with the Great Himalaya Trail, wanting to set a fastest known time. I mean, after 2 or 3 days in the project and doing it, you actually forget about
The
setting
goal.
the goal and like setting a fastest known time. I mean, by the end, you don't even really care about that. I think that's just like the excuse to do something, and it allows you to have those experiences. So, I mean, just looking back, like traveling to Madagascar to do a race, but just seeing the people out there, it's like super poor country, and being in the middle of nowhere, and kind of people having absolute like nothing, like walking for kilometers to get like a bucket of water, and not knowing if they're gonna have food in the evenings, but like the people just super happy, and the families were like always sitting together, like around a fire, or just kind of in the front of their house. And it just made me like realize that, like, I think it's like so important to keep like life simple and put like a strong value on family. Whereas, I mean, after Madagascar, I remember flying home via Joburg, and I had to spend 2 days in Joburg, and you just see like everyone driving around their fancy SUVs, kind
Yeah.
of getting road rage, hooting at each other, and it's like, well, what are you actually doing? Like, what is the point of life? Is it just to like accumulate
Stuff.
accumulate a stuff that you end up like just dying with the stuff, or do you actually live life and kind of spend time with your family? And I mean, I think that was like a big lesson for me. Like I wasn't a dad then, but becoming a dad, just realizing that like my son Max, like for him, he doesn't care if I win 100 races. I think for him it's more important that I'm a good dad and that I'm present. So I think that was really important for me. And then also going to the Himalayas, like when Raina and I did the crossing, there were a number of times where, like, in the middle of the night, or middle of the morning, like 2, 3 in the morning, we would kind of come off the mountain and see like 2 little houses and knock on the door and like ask for shelter at like 2, 3 in the morning, and like without fail, every single time the family would like wake up, make us food, get out of bed, offer us their beds, and there was never like an expectation. And it was just like that small
Yeah, and
act
they
of
had
kindness.
no idea who you were, some random that just rocked up at their door.
Exactly, and it was just like that like small act of kindness went so far. And I mean, to be honest, there were situations where like if we weren't given shelter, we kind of potentially would have died. So like it just shows like how far like a small act of kindness can go. So I mean that's another thing that was kind of really stands out. So I think for me it's often been those like personal interactions which have kind of really shaped me.
For sure. Yeah, and it's amazing that the sport has allowed you to do that, because if it wasn't for you doing these projects, you never would have experienced, like, these people, you strip everything away and what are they left with? Just their humanity.
Exactly. No, I mean I think that's a cool thing. Like take nothing away from school and kind of university and an education. But I mean I just feel like through travel over the last 18 plus years, like I mean I've just learned so much just with the going to new places and interacting with different cultures and just seeing how kind of different, it just like opens your eyes up to the world, and you realize I guess the world is a very big place, but it's also not a big place. So I mean I think I'm just super grateful for being able to experience all of that.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. Okay, we've been hinting at this Cocodona. So most recently you had an amazing result, second place at the Cocodona 250, which is a 400 kilometer race, like 400 racing for 400 kilometers through absolutely brutal conditions in Arizona, including 12,000 meters of elevation, rain, snow, mud, sleep deprivation, the works. I know you mentioned before that entering Cocodona sort of gave you this like exciting feeling, but what drew you to enter in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, I think the short answer would be, I think, like, as I mentioned, like I've done like a lot of projects in my career, like multi-day projects, and then like also a lot of races, and I felt like Cocodona was like the perfect blend of like a multi-day project and a race. So I mean that was what really intrigued me, and then also just the unknown. Like, is it possible to race for 400 plus kilometers? Like the sleep deprivation, getting the nutrition right, just being able to keep moving for that distance. So I guess those were like the kind of initial reasons for entering. But like also as I mentioned, I think for me, I've always wanted to kind of keep challenging myself and kind of pushing those boundaries. And I guess after running like a number of 100-mile races, I thought like, geez, so why not try a 200-mile race? Cocodona just happened to be 250 miles. But yeah, I mean, I think that was like the big thing, just the unknown and just like really pushing yourself. And yeah, I mean, I think like you mentioned also something I really enjoy about kind of running long distances. I feel like it really just almost like see yourself as like an onion, and you just kind of like peel the layers away, like the further you go, and it just kind of really kind of strips away everything. And I mean, Cocodona was like a kind of a real experience, like quite a, I guess, I wouldn't quite say like spiritual experience, but it was quite an experience in, and like a kind of grounding experience.
And obviously you mentioned, the difference between like a project where obviously your projects are usually longer than like 400 Ks, but the difference between racing 400 Ks and doing a project like that, would you say the biggest difference is like obviously just completely disregarding sleep?
Yeah, I mean, I guess in like looking back, if probably my biggest improvement if I had to do Cocodona again would be to work on my sleep. I think like you mentioned, Cocodona had like rain and hail and snow.
And mud.
The mud is normally, or kind of, this was the first year they had conditions like that. Normally it's supposed to be like a really hot race.
Okay, just dry.
Yes. So I mean, so my sleep strategy was to actually take like naps on the side of the trail. But with the snow, that's it. So when it rained and snow, like that went out the window. So then like my plan was to sleep when I saw crew at aid stations, but I just really struggled to fall asleep. And then I think like the more I wasn't sleeping, then the more I loaded up on caffeine to stay awake in between those stages, and then kind of eventually, I mean, it was just like I couldn't sleep. I finally did sleep for 7 minutes after,
great.
in the morning, like the second morning after the second night. But I'd kind of gone through a crazy night of hallucinations. It was because like Cocodona, you basically like run across the state of Arizona. So you kind of start off like close to Phoenix in like the desert where it's like super super hot, and then you kind of gradually climb up towards Flagstaff, and you kind of go over the mountains there. But the second night it was going through like this forestry like region, or kind of where there are lots of forests, and it just I wasn't allowed a pacer for that. I was like about a 3 or 4 hour stretch, and I was on my own through like these forests, and I mean I was starting
Just
to
seeing
seeing things, and I mean you know that you're hallucinating because like I was seeing like people hanging from trees, and it was like, and then like as soon
And
as
you knew immediately, like,
yeah
you sort of knew
you
that
tell
you were
yourself
hallucinating.
you tell yourself like snap out of it, like, but and then when you get close enough, kind of it disappears, so you know you're like starting to hallucinate, but then you like start to like freak out, like am I
Losing my mind.
losing my mind, like kind of am I going to get through this, and you're already kind of 40 odd hours into a race, you're so tired, so that was like quite challenging mentally. I mean, even I saw like I remember like a couple of like buck, and like I saw their eyes look at me, and then the next minute they like when they looked up again, their faces looked like lions, like African lions, not even like the American
But
mountain
what
lions.
were they real buck that you saw?
Yeah, they were real. I
Oh, but
think
then
they
you
were.
were
I was
you still don't
hallucinating.
even know.
Yeah, but no, yeah. So I think they were back, and they looked up. They looked at like lions. So I mean, there's a
Yeah,
lot of
that's
like
crazy.
weird stuff. So I mean, that was actually the first. I remember coming when I did sleep for 7 minutes. It was like a small little climb up to where the aid station was, or where you could have crew, and I actually pushed on my poles to get up, and I actually like fell it, like I actually kind of nearly nodded off to
As you
sleep.
were like pushing
Yeah,
yourself up.
yeah. As I like so I realized that like geez, I needed to
Yeah.
sleep. So I mean, the sleep deprivation was probably like the biggest challenge for me, and like as I said, something that I definitely work on if I ever had to do Cocodona again.
But I'm sure it's difficult to then sleep when you see your crew because they're like so fired up and like excited to
Ex-
see you, and then
exactly. Yeah. So it's always kind of a
yeah,
hard thing.
yeah. Looking back, what lessons or mindset tools are you taking away from that specific event?
Um. Yeah. Geez, I think like a lot. I mean, I always say like it's so important to break things down into bite-sized chunks. Like I always like say if you're running your first marathon, just like focus on running 10Ks at a time, and you run kind of 10Ks 4 times, and you're at the finish line. Or if it gets really challenging, just focus on getting from one aid station to the next. So for me, like a big thing with Coke, then I never actually throughout the race like focused on like the finish line. It was just kind of getting to the next aid station and just like purely focusing on that, not like I'll just like try to be as present as possible. And I mean, I think that really helped.
Yeah,
Um,
not thinking about the end.
yeah,
Yeah.
otherwise just like 406 or 7 kilometers becomes a bit overwhelming. Or if you like flip, like it's 2 o'clock in the morning on the first night, I'm feeling so terrible. Like, how am I going to be feeling like tomorrow night or tomorrow morning at this time? So just really trying to shut that off and just try and stay as present as possible. And then like mentally, just managing those low moments. And I always say like physically, when you're going through a bad patch, if you can kind of like hold it together mentally and just like stay relatively positive, you can get through it.
As
But
long
like
as your mental and your physical doesn't go at the same time.
exactly that's the thing. I always say like it's the person that can manage their low moments the best in a race or in life in general that ends up being most successful. Because I mean, generally when things are going according to plan,
Yeah,
it's easy. But it's like when things start going wrong and you start second guessing yourself and why am I doing this, and is like it's very quickly for things just to spiral out of control. So I mean, I think that was a big thing for me, because I remember like there was a big storm that came in, and I mean, I should know with all my experience that like put your rain jacket on straight away, but I like took an extra 2 or 3 minutes to put it on, and like because I was so tired and fatigued, I nearly got like hypothermia. Like
Wow, just
like,
in those 2-3 minutes that
yeah.
you waited.
So just like small things, and then you like flip like, you idiot, you should know better. So yeah, that was like another takeout. I think like the big thing for me, like I said, was just so important in life to do things for the right reasons and to do things that excite you. So I mean, I think that was a big thing. I mean, or doing things, like it made me realize that like actually doing something for me, not doing something that I felt like I should be doing, or like, I mean, I guess essentially, if like I'd kind of done something, like I would have never like quit my job if I've like thought that
There was pressure to do this other thing.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Like I mean, yeah, you kind of gotta do what really drives you. So I mean, I think that was a big thing. And then around Cocodona, like just the support team I had was are really incredible. And I think for me, like the biggest takeout was that like for sure I was the kind of one entered running the race, but like for me it was so much more than that. Like kind of Lucy, Reno, Christian, kind of all the like the Salomon medical team, the R&D team, like Vanessa and Max supporting at home, like family and friends. It was like so much more that got me through the race. And there's that saying that that African proverb, like if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. I think that's like super true for me, and just made me also realize that like throughout my career I've been really lucky to have some like an incredible support team around me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think those are probably some of the big takeouts.
Yeah, over 18 years, you really dialed down what you need from who and...
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
think it's because I mean, I think people see running as an individualist sport, but I think probably one of my big takeouts from Dean Conaz's was like kind of setting up the right team around you and people that are like-minded and as passionate as you are about like the goal ahead. I think that's so important. And I mean, even just looking at the sport now, where it's getting a lot more professionalized and like scientific. So like having those teams are important, but also that like personal connection is so important. I
For
feel
sure.
that that's like my concern in some ways, that the sport loses that personal touch.
the like
and
heart behind it.
yeah, and all people just get like too like robotic. It's just all about performance and not actually kind of intuition and feel and actually doing something because you really love it.
And you mentioned before, well, in Run, Risk, Reward, your book,
Yeah.
little plug,
Thanks.
that there were moments where you thought that your career might have come to an end. Obviously, none of those materialized into actual retirement.
Yes.
So I was wondering, is there like a common thread or a reoccurring thought that sort of pulled you away from those negative thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think that's just like I also want to like be in control of my own destiny and kind of write my book or kind of like do things the way like I want to do things and just like end things off properly. So I mean, there's like, yeah, I didn't want to like end things off with an injury or a setback. I think that was one thing, but also I find like having time out from the sport, it actually makes you realize that like how much I enjoy the sport and like still want to be part of it, and like there's still goals and I've still got dreams and aspirations and things I want to achieve. So I mean, those setbacks like have been bitter pills to swallow at the time, and yeah, I mean they've really challenged me mentally, and I've had to like kind of do some like kind of deep diving and kind of really just kind of question a lot of things. But I mean the answer has always been that like I really love what I do and it's an incredible opportunity and I want to keep doing it. So yeah, I think for me it's just I mean it's something I'm still really passionate about. I mean even my injury now, I mean, I'm not getting any younger, so it's always tough. And I mean, the sport is progressing so quickly that like you kind of step off the hamster wheel, or you kind of step off that treadmill for like a few months, and you kind of fall so far behind. So I mean, it is always hard, but I mean, I think, yeah, I mean, looking say back at this my last injury or setback, I mean, it's made me realize that there's still like, I mean, aside from just like the racing side of the sport, I mean, it's still a sport I really want to be a part of, and there's still kind of, I see, yeah, lots of other opportunities and spaces to be in the sport.
And then obviously over time, your projects became bigger, you know, as your career progressed
Yeah.
and the consequences became more real. How has your relationship with fear changed, like from those early days to now?
Yeah, I guess with experience, you kind of know what you're getting yourself into for like a number of projects. So I mean, to be honest, there've been like a few projects I've thought about now, and I wouldn't say gotten cold feet, but I just thought like where I am in my life, being a father, and I mean, have had a lot of kind of close calls. And I mean, I don't think it's always like close calls. It's just you realize you just like on that fine line. It's so easy for things to feel like kind of fall off that ridge line, or just kind of, yeah, topple over. So I mean, yeah, so I think like looking forward at projects and ideas, I'm definitely, yeah, more calculated. But I mean, it doesn't mean like I mean, you can't do stuff. And I mean, like running on the mountain, or even, I guess, driving to a 9 to 5
Exactly.
job. Like, I mean, when your time's up, your time is up. So I mean, I'm not wrapping myself in cotton wool, but I mean, for sure, I'm definitely like probably calculating those risks a bit more. But I also feel it just comes from experience. I mean, yeah, once you experience something, kind of, you know what you kind of getting yourself into in future.
And I guess also, like, as you sort of plan projects, if you know that there's a certain risk area, like the navigating Lesotho, you sort of knew that the dogs might be an issue. And so instead of just saying, nah, like, I don't want to deal with this, you can think of ways to sort of try and mitigate those risks. And
For
yeah.
sure, no, 100%. And I mean, that's why I like kind of talking about like partners and support team. I mean, like having like a brand like Red Bull support some of those projects, have been like incredible. Like how they go out of their way to support you and make it safe. Like as you mentioned with the dogs, and we kind of got guys on horseback to track with us on certain sections. I mean, that was all thanks to Red Bull wanting to make the project more
Yeah, they
secure.
want to keep you alive.
Exactly.
Yeah. What do the days immediately following either an event or like a big project usually look like for you? Obviously, physically, there's a lot of resting and recovering, but mentally, is it like a high, or do you feel quite empty and flat?
Yeah, I guess good question, because I mean, when I did the first big like ultra race I did, the Gobi Desert Race, I remember like training and preparing for it, like leading up like 2 or 3 weeks out. I remember saying like, after this event has been epic, but I'm throwing my running shoes away. I'm never doing this again. Like I want to go back to socializing with friends, and kind of, yeah, being more of kind of, yeah, spending more time on the beach, etc. And it was actually like finishing the Gobi Desert Race. I mean, I won that race, and it was a complete like shock for me. So you like on this massive high, but it was weird at the same time. There's like this massive high, but also there's this like empty feeling. Like I'd put so much into training for this goal, and like all of a sudden it was gone. It's like, what next? So I mean, often I think there've been like times throughout my career, where it's like you achieve something, and then it's like, what next? And I mean, that's maybe one. I don't know if it's quite like a regret. If you said like, kind of, what advice would I give like, I don't know, 25-year-old kind of version of me? And it would definitely be, I think, just to like celebrate the achievements a bit more. Like even if it's not an achievement, just kind of celebrate those milestones a bit more, and be a bit more present. Because I often felt like in the early years of my career, it was just like, okay, box ticked, next box, and you just kind of keep like rolling on. So yeah, I guess it's definitely like that for feeling of fulfillment, and you're happy and excited, but at the same time there's like that emptiness, like cool, what next?
And would you say that was what, like when you were younger, to fulfill that emptiness, you just started entering like more and more events, so that there was like constantly something that you were looking forward to?
I mean, I I think I've probably been like quite, I'd like to think like quite calculated throughout my career in terms of not just like entering everything and like overstacking my calendar. So definitely not, but I mean, I guess to a point, there's definitely like a driving factor, like kind of doing more, yeah, like having something like next after a big event. But I guess then when you become like a professional athlete, that's almost like
A
becomes your
given.
job. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, because like now, this year, obviously you finished Cocodona earlier.
Yeah.
And was there something big on the horizon that you sort of had in the back of your mind after you'd finished that, or?
I mean, ideally, I wanted to run Ultra Trail Cape Town, the 100 miler, because it was a hard rock qualifier. So I mean, that's the one race I'd still love to get into is the hard rock 100. So yeah, that was a plan. Unfortunately, I mean, but I also realized that I'd need to just see how I bounce back after Cocodona, and then unfortunately training for Ultra Trail Cape Town. That's when I picked up the bone bruising. So I mean, it's been a bit of a quiet second half of the year. But I mean, to be honest, Cocodona took a lot. It took more out of me mentally than physically. And quite interesting. Kind of they're doing a documentary, or a friend of mine is doing a film on my run at Cocodona, and I actually saw a very rough cut of the film the other day, and I was like, geez, like I actually
Took you way back to that place.
yeah, I mean, I was looking a lot more worse for wear than what I actually thought. So yeah, I mean, I definitely kind of pushed myself quite hard there. So I mean, I think it's also made me realize that just like you have to respect your body and your mind, and just kind of take time to recover. I mean, it's crazy that like top marathon runners will run 2 marathons in a year, but then guys are sometimes running like 4 or 5 ultra marathons. Especially, I think if you really want to kind of
Do well.
and kind of push yourself.
And I mean, obviously, for physical recovery, there's so many tools out there. But what, like you know, obviously you say you were so mentally exhausted after that. Is there sort of I don't know, routine that you go through to try get yourself back on track mentally, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think like the big thing is like rest, sleep, and I guess sleep and eating well and getting in the right nutrients is key. I mean, I don't think there's any like real shortcutting things. I mean, like a healthy lifestyle. Obviously, it's if you can take it easy. I mean, I think if you had to go back to working a super stressful 9 to 5 job, like obviously your recovery is going to be slower. But I mean, I think as a professional athlete, just eating and sleeping is a big thing, relaxing. Yeah, and I think a big thing is also, and I think I've been pretty good at this, is being able to actually switch off from trail running and not feeling like you have to keep training and running. Like for me, to take 2 weeks off of running is easy. I think like naturally, I wouldn't say I'm like lazy, but like I'm happy to like chill.
Yeah, like okay, fine, I'll rest.
Yeah, or like kind of get in the ocean, or go for a ride, or go for a hike. Where I've seen like a lot of trail runners, they literally like will kind of
like
run.
itching to.
Yeah, I mean, they'll run Western States, and then you'll be at prize giving the next day, and they'll be doing laps around the track where they have, and it's like, come on, dude, you ran 100 miles.
You need some other hobbies.
Exactly, but I mean, unfortunately, I think I've seen a lot of guys come into the sport with that kind of mindset, and after like 2 or 3 years, just fizzle out, just like mentally and physically. So I think, I think the big thing is just taking down time. And I mean, if I look after Cocodona, definitely being like, I took like a good like 2 months off. I mean, I wouldn't say like no running. Like I still went to Mauritius and did like the Dodo Trail with family, and I was still running. I did a lot of also strength work after Cocodona, strength and mobility work, which I've been doing. Like I've always done a lot of it throughout my career, but I think now getting older, I found like the strength work.
Maybe that's what it
really
counts for
important.
the 18 years of still in the sport.
No, I mean, jokes aside, I think definitely. I mean, I think strength and mobility has been a big thing, and some cross training. And
now you're giving everyone your secrets.
Exactly. No, I mean, and also I think like good like nutrition. I mean, and I think it's not just, there's no like silver bullet that like take these 5 tablets and you're gonna be
Exactly.
flying. It's like day in and day out. Just, I mean, I also don't think like I'm no expert on nutrition, or I'm not like super. I don't weigh this amount of carbs and this amount of protein and only eat this or that. But I think it's just trying to eat a well balanced kind of cleanish diet, but also I think it's got to be part of your everyday life. I mean, it can't be so strict that like
because then you can't maintain that.
Exactly.
It's just not sustainable.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, because as you say, like if this is your career, you need to be able to like 365 days of the year be operating like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I guess also with nutrition specifically, I think you can kind of tell, like your body talks to you and you can sort of be like, okay, maybe this wasn't the best meal. Like I feel pretty shit afterwards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, like on that, it's actually been quite interesting because I think like the sports like getting so like scientific, and everyone's like kind of measuring your sleep and measuring heart rate variability and like for me, like it's a lot of it's always been about feel. Even with like you say after a race, in terms of like nutrition, I'll find that like I'm craving meat, or like I'd feel like lots of vegetables and salad. Like it's interesting. I feel it's so important to listen to your body.
And sometimes your body says you're craving cake.
Exactly.
Maybe you need it. And with a family that you obviously want to be present for, but also provide for because this is your career.
Yes.
Do you feel like you've managed to find a pretty good balance between that?
Definitely in the last few years. I mean, I think when Max, for the first 2-3 years of Max's life, I was like super busy, and Max was very young when I went off and did the Great Himalaya Trail. So, I mean, I maybe wasn't around as much as what I would have liked to have been, but I definitely feel like the last, kind of couple of years, I mean, it's really cool that like I can pick Max up from school, take him to school. Like I'm very flexible. So I mean that's something I'm really grateful, and also like I guess another reason why I'd like kind of I really enjoy my career, like having that flexibility. So I mean I think I'm grateful. I mean I think a lot of people think that like being an ultra runner is just kind of training and eating and sleeping. I mean, right from like the start of my career, there's always been a lot more to it, and even nowadays with like sponsors and partnerships, there's a lot more kind of commitments and gear development, and also I've got 1 or 2 other like smaller businesses on the side. So I mean, there's a lot that's always going
pulling
on,
you in so many directions.
Which is also cool, because I think for me, if it was just like training and sleeping, like mentally I would have kind of gotten over it. I need that like mental stimulation. So I mean I think it is super busy, and I always joke that like when I actually quit my 9-to-5 job, I was more busy doing like running stuff aside from training, but at least I was doing it on my terms.
Exactly.
And it was something that I was passionate about, and kind of working on the weekends or doing stuff on the weekends didn't feel like work. But I mean, now being a dad and stuff, obviously it is important to have those boundaries.
And I guess it's nice because like yes, you are away sometimes like for these events, but when you're home you're like fully present, and so the balance is not necessarily a daily balance like, oh, you work and then you spend time with Max. It's more like you go away and work and then you come back and spend loads of time with Max. So it's also shifting that mindset of what balance needs to look like.
100%. So, and I guess also it's, as you like saying, I think it's just something that's like continuously like evolving as well, and I'm guess learning as we go on. I guess there's no like manual for life.
Exactly.
Just got to figure it out.
Yeah. And then a lot of what you've learned over your career clearly applies far beyond running. So from a more general perspective, how do you approach something that feels super overwhelming?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it goes down to, I think I was saying, like, just break it down into bite-sized chunks, and just like set like micro goals. I mean, I feel like often like say someone will enter like a half marathon, it's only in 6 months time, they're like, okay, it's like like it feels overwhelming, so you almost like want to like forget about it, but you don't do anything about it, and it's like it's 6 months away, I've got so much time, and then before you know it, it's like a month away, and it's like flip, like what do I do? And then you just don't end up doing it because it's just too overwhelming. So I think just setting yourself like micro goals leading up to the big goal. So maybe it's like, okay, well, by the end of next month I want to be able to run my local park run, or do a 5K, or kind of join my husband for a 5K. It's like set these like little goals, and just like, and then like after that it can be like a 10K, and then at least also you can gauge how you're going. Like maybe you try and run the 5K and you can only do 2Ks, and you realize that like, okay, like maybe I've bitten off more than what I can chew. Maybe instead of doing the half marathon I need to kind of downgrade to the 10K, or maybe it's the opposite. It's like flip, 5Ks is easy. Yeah, maybe I should enter the marathon. So I think that's like really important, and just to like have a plan. I mean, life is busy, so like I always even say with training, like having like a plan in place, but you don't have to be like super regimented and structured. Like you can say like, these are like the 2 key runs I want to get in this week, and let me fit family, kids, and life in around that. I mean, I think that's kind of important to make something sustainable, because I think like consistency is key in like in anything. Just it's through consistency that you end up kind of improving and kind of having those performance gains.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, every day just thinking about like, what do I need to do today to get to this point I want to be in 6 months' time.
Yeah, and also I mean I guess at the same time also just not putting too much pressure on yourself, especially if it's like a hobby. I mean I think life in general, I think we can put too much pressure on ourselves, and I mean the worst thing that can happen is we can fail, and like for me, I don't think you need to see failure as like a negative. It's just like, at least you've tried it, like at least you've tried it, it hasn't worked out, like move on and try again, or kind of rework things and redo things. So I mean, yeah, I think it's important not to see failure as a negative. I think, I mean, if you live like this perfect life and you never fail, like that's almost like, to me, like a negative, because you're not
you haven't learned or grown.
You're not living. You're just kind of in this little bubble.
Yeah. And how do you deal with self-doubt when it shows up?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just like everyone has self-doubt, and I mean I think it's important to like believe believe in yourself, and just like back yourself. And also for me, like a big thing is like, you can like standing on like a start line, or kind of you're about to take on a big challenge or project. I mean, it's just to know that I've done everything in my power to get to that start line, and be as fit and capable as possible. Like, and like what'll be will be once the start gun goes off. And it's just, yeah, being able to manage the situation. Sometimes you have a good day, sometimes you have a bad day, sometimes like everything goes wrong, and it's just like problem solving and not panicking, and being able to manage stuff on the fly. I mean, I think that's yeah, super important. So I mean, I think like, yeah, if you can get like, I talk about like consistency and just getting in like a habit and just doing the process right, just kind of gives you that confidence down the line. And it's not about like these like massive make or break sessions. It's just about day in and day out, just doing the basics right in everyday life. I think is so important.
Yeah, and as you say, having faith in that preparation that you've put in, and like believing in yourself that you've, as you said, done everything that you could have done before this moment.
I mean, I think that's a big thing. And also like another thing I often do is like visualize different situations. So visualize that everything's going according to plan, you're feeling amazing, you're springy, you're just cruising, and then also visualizing things don't go according to plan, you get to an aid station and your crew's not there, and you've got to run for
so you like pre-solve problems.
Yeah, and then also and really like visualize it and kind of smell and hear the situation. So like if that situation happens, you're just super relaxed. Or if like another situation, you're just like kind of calm about it, and because I mean I think it's so important just to stay calm when things go wrong, because
Yeah.
I mean life is far from perfect. Generally things do go wrong, so it's just being able to try and not like panic and just problem solve.
And do you think that translates over into your personal life, like things going wrong just in general around you? You able to have that similar mindset that you got from your projects?
Yeah, I mean I definitely try, and I
Mm.
feel like I mean I feel like when I get worked up about stuff and get super like tense, like it doesn't, I mean it
It
doesn't
doesn't
help
do
anything.
yeah.
Yeah, I think when you can stay calm and like take a step back and like, okay, like this is a problem, like how are we going to fix it? I think that's like when you actually fix the situation and you can move forward. Whereas if you're just like in a flat spin and like, oh, like everything's falling apart, I hate my life type thing, then it just
Not
yeah,
helpful.
yeah, then everything just like spirals out of control. So
Yeah. In your book, Run, Risk,
yeah.
Reward, you say, I'm going to read it so that I don't
Yeah.
mess up your quote. My mental strength has always been my strong point. It's allowed me to bounce back and refocus after every setback I've faced in my career. So what do you think accounts for that resilience and that ability to regroup and keep going?
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I think through, I mean, I think it's like, I always say it's like, it's those, looking back now, it's those hard moments that I've actually learned the most about myself. And it was actually when I wrote my first book, when I say when kind of I sat down with Steve Smith and kind of went through all the stories, you actually realize that, like I said, I think it's like through those real struggles that when you just like doubt yourself or you don't know if kind of this is the end of your career and stuff. It's those like low moments that I really kind of learned to about myself, and I think it's just like that like burning fire and that desire that like I want to keep going and I'm gonna keep going, and it's just I think like backing yourself to get through the situation, and I guess like with that again, like I think a big thing for me, like I want to be in control of my own destiny and kind of be just kind of doing the things I want to do. So I think for me it's like there's no option to like kind of stop or to quit or to like not believe in myself. Like it's about moving forward. And also, as I said, like I think that like self-doubt or fear of failure, I mean, there's definitely, I mean, I think there's been lots of times in my career where like that fear of failure has driven me. But like I was saying, I try not to see failure as a negative. It's just part of life. I mean, obviously, I don't want to fail, but I know I am gonna fail. So I mean, it's important to know if, like failure is inevitable. But I mean, it's important to
Yeah, and as you say, seeing it as a valuable step of the process instead of like the end of the process.
Exactly. So I think I mean, I think that's pretty important. And I mean, I guess also, like my career, I mean, ultra running is an individualist sport, but I mean, I've had an incredible team around me. I mean, family, friends, even just being South African. And I mean, I guess living in South Africa, we have a lot of challenges, but we're also an incredibly beautiful country. And I think when our people come together, like there's no place like home in South Africa.
Exactly.
And I've been incredibly lucky to kind of run on all 7 continents. But I mean, without a doubt, Cape Town in South Africa is home. There's nowhere else I'd wanna live for like the natural beauty, but also the people in general. I think there's something really special about South Africa. So I think for me, I've always been like very patriotic and proudly South African. So I think when I'm out there, and I mean, I'm definitely out there alone, but I mean, I feel like I'm running for a lot than kind of just myself when I'm out
For
there.
sure. Yeah, and as you say, South Africans are like so passionately, very passionate supporters of their sportsmen. So yeah, it's great to have this specific nation behind you.
Exactly. No, very grateful.
Yeah. And looking ahead, the upcoming year, what are you specifically trying to focus on?
I mean, looking ahead, definitely still running. I mean, obviously coming out of an injury now, so just building off of that. But my plan is actually to run Marathon des Sables next year, which I mentioned, like I started off doing the kind of multi-day desert races. So Marathon des Sables is probably like the most iconic of those desert races, and it's their 40th year next year. So
Oh, wow. Going
so
back to your roots.
exactly, going back to my roots. And I also think it's just like what I was saying, what I learned from Cocodona. It's just doing stuff that excites me and something new. And I mean, I haven't done a multi-day, like a desert race for so long that I thought, geez, let me give it a bash.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm excited about that. And then working on one or two projects. I'm keen to explore more of Africa, so hopefully head out to Mount Kenya,
Oh, cool.
kind of middle of the year, and then need to see with the rest of the year. I mean, I'm still as I mentioned, would love to get into hard rock, so I potentially need to run a qualifier, but just we'll see how the rest of the year goes. So I mean, that's from a racing point of view, but then also kind of getting a bit more into now doing some like athlete consulting and some consulting around people doing projects, and so starting to do a bit more of that now.
That's cool.
I mean, I think for me the sport's given me so much. It's cool to be able to give back a bit as well.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously you've learned so much over your years that you're the perfect person to ask.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah, I'll ask those people. Is there anything for this year that you're intentionally saying no to?
For like that I'm saying no to in terms of...
Yeah, just stuff that doesn't, like, that you sort of want to leave behind, and that you feel like, you've moved on from this and it doesn't feel like the Ryan now. It doesn't feel like it's you anymore.
No,
personal or like racing wise?
Yeah, I mean, I think racing wise, definitely. I mean, like a race like UTMB, I don't like. A lot of people say you're going back to UTMB, and
No.
to be honest, no. I think the short answer is no. And I'm super at peace with that. Even Western States. I mean, a lot of fond memories at Western States. There was a part of me I thought, like, should I try and qualify to get back there? And I mean, I feel it's like in the past I've done that. So I mean, I'm quite at peace with. There's only like a handful of races that really intrigue me and inspire me.
Yeah.
So maybe that's something in the past. But I also say like I don't like to kind of close. I mean, some doors close, but maybe they open again. So I mean, even Marathon des Sables. If you had said to me 2 years ago, would you be running Marathon des Sables? I would say like no way. It's like been there, done that. But who knows? So currently the door is closed for like races like UTMB and stuff, but you never know. I think I'm definitely moving forward. I know I've only got like a limited amount of races in me and projects in me, so I definitely want to do the right things and things that excite me. It's not necessarily kind of the race that I feel like people think that I should be doing that. For me, it's something that just intrigues me and excites me.
Yeah, and it's nice that your sponsors do back you like that. They don't necessarily expect you to do these specific things, that they trust you in your decisions.
Yeah, I mean, that's really, really cool. And I mean, like I said, super grateful for my dream givers.
Yeah. And just to finish off, if you had to distill it down to one specific thing, what would you say fuels your adventure?
Fuels my adventure. I mean, I think it's just like the unknown. I mean, I think it really, like, any adventure gives me that like kind of childlike feeling, just like kind of
like wonder and
yeah, exactly. I mean, you got this blank canvas and you like a child like opening up a book for the first time, and you turn the pages and there's just so many different opportunities. Or a bit like those books, I'm trying to remember what they call, those ones where you can choose your own adventure. Like you could, like on the page,
like it says go to this
page or that.
Yeah.
I mean, often I feel like adventures like that. Like you start the adventure and you can go off in one direction, but sometimes it goes off in a completely different direction. Or even when you're planning an adventure, it's like, cool, I want to do X, Y, and Z, and then you start planning and it's no, you actually end up doing something completely different. So I mean, I think that's what really inspires me. And then also I think just, yeah, I think adventure also like really challenges me, both physically and mentally, which is kind of really important for me.
Yeah, keep your mind fresh, body tired.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, and thanks so much
Pleasure.
for coming through. It was great chatting to you. Really, yeah, value you and your
Likewise.
time. And yeah, it was great. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, thanks,
Thanks.
Ryan. And that wraps up an incredible conversation with Ryan Sands, a runner, adventurer, thinker, author, and someone who reminds us that doing hard things isn't just about the physical challenge. It's about mindset, presence, and showing up one step at a time. Thanks again to Ryan for dedicating time to come and chat to us. We filmed this episode on the 23rd of December, so I obviously wanted to respect his time and give him back to his family. But there are so many more things that I would have loved to have chatted to him about. So keep your eyes peeled for a potential second episode, maybe like later 2026, so we can catch up and chat more about his earlier career as well as other things that he did throughout the year. And before we go, just a little reminder that if you are looking for clean, science-backed supplements to support your performance, recovery, and everyday wellness, be sure to check out itsallgood.co.za. We make products for people who care about what goes into their body and want reliable support to fuel their adventures. From improved sleep quality with Rest and Recover, to daily performance and recovery support using Amino Plus and Pure Creatine, and our brand new protein powder. Thanks again for listening to this episode, and check out our other episodes on our YouTube channel or wherever you love to find your podcast. If this episode inspired you, share it with a friend, subscribe, and let us know who you want us to talk to next and what you'd love to hear about. Until next time, stay curious, stay grounded, and keep fueling your adventure.